and you muted yourself. You touched your mic. Man, falling up the stairs first thing.
Hey, welcome to Fleur Stop Podcast, the #1 show where police go to get breakdowns. Oh my gosh. Can we start today's show over? Is that a thing? I guess it's not because we're live, baby. We got a bunch of people in the live chats. We got Low Rim, Bosco Autry. Let's see if we can save this thing. Tyler S. Pray for me, folks. Pray for me. Yes. In the live chats. Let me try it again. Welcome to the Fleur Stop Podcast, the #1 show for police-related podcasts. We got a big breakdown for you today. A rumble in the jungles of Florida, where a Florida deputy is forced into a bloody skirmish. A little roll with Charles Saint Fleur, which is a French name. Before we do that, let's go ahead and play our zesty little intro for today. Do we have an intro? Just to save me from all of this?
I think so. Here we go.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
What's up, kitty? You know what? I've been working on an audiobook, and it's the first time I've ever used a microphone with a script. In the 6 years that I've been podcasting, the audiobook that we're working on for Pig Latin, I have to read a script, very direct. And now I'm back in my podcast studio with no script, and I just lose my mind. Now I understand like why people use teleprompters and things like that. Speaking of scripts, we do have 2 new podcasts on the Fleur Stop Podcast Network. We have Santana True Crime, which now has a YouTube channel, and they are scripted, which is different. It's been different because we've always been like but with Allie in the Archives, and she has a book out as well. This is her, Allie in the Archives. Her book is called Bloodstained. Her podcast is called Allie in the Archives. And then we also have Santana from Santana True Crime. His book is A Murder on Campus. So they've teamed up with Santana True Crime Podcast, and plus Allie has her own scripted podcast on the site as well. Very ominous and very dark. It's very fun. Let me just show you a quick glimpse of their new YouTube channel. Now it's brand new. So to find it, you're going to have to type in Santana True Crime Matt Pritchard, because that was his first episode. And so then it'll pop right up and you kind of see what it's like. But go over there and start subscribing to it, because Santana is slowly evolving himself into the Failure to Stop podcast family. Probably be doing a lot of breakdowns because I'll be going on this whole book tour thing coming at the end of the summer and a lot of other exciting things. Let me just play this. And this, by the way, this is produced by Cameron Santana, Ali Siebert, and Jonathan Bates. And they are doing such a wonderful job. But let me just give you a quick glimpse on the YouTubes. Again, it's mainly podcast audio, but they are broadcasting it on YouTube, and I hope all you guys go and follow it. Check this out.
Welcome to Santana True Crime. Tonight we have former undercover police officer Matt Pritchard. If you want to know what it's like going from buying an 8-ball of Coke from strippers to buying 50 kilos of Colombian Bam Bam, you will enjoy the show. Also joining me is co-host, author, historian, and podcaster Ali Siebert. Check out her new show, Allie in the Archives. And Matt, understand you're retired from buying Coke and you now have a podcast. Can you tell us about that?
I think it's great because Santana, being the investigator that he is, he treats the podcast like he's internal affairs. And I think it's hilarious. But also you get all the information without any bullshit. So he's super fun. Their podcast is doing super well. And for guys who are just leaving law enforcement, and being authors like Allie and jumping right into doing podcasts, they're doing a phenomenal job working with the team here. It's just been such a pleasure. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Welcome them as a part of the family. We also have our merch site up. John's been running the merch site. It's FTS Underground. That stands for Failure to Stop Underground. They've got my favorite shirt that I used to wear all the time. I need to probably rebuy it, but it's called LeBron James. Never heard of her with the thin blue line. Definitely want to get the coffee cup. They've got the Hard Times podcast. They got the Guns Up Giddy Up, which I was wearing yesterday. I should have worn it today. I like the Guns Up Giddy Up in blue. Definitely want to get the Guns Up Giddy Up coffee mug. So if you want to support the team, actually 100% of the proceeds of the FTS Underground goes to first responder artist Jonathan Bates. We would love to see him leave first responder stuff and follow his dream of being an artist. Mandatory Fun Day is in the live chats. Love you, brother. The book is great. Are you serious right now? Is that happening? That's wild. Huge Mandatory Fun Day fan. Wow, that just threw me off. You threw me off today, brother. Yeah, threw me off. Fangirl. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. Today's show brought to you by factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF. Wolf, that's Failure to Stop. I'm sorry, that's Wolfpack50. See how much he threw me off?
It
Josh.
definitely wasn't my burner account. Definitely wasn't my burner account.
This is the worst. This probably is the worst podcast episode I've ever done. Honest to God. And I'm even more prepared for today's show than normal. And everything has just gone to shit. And now I'm blushing. And I can't get over it. Let me start that over. Factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off. And God, mandatory stop commenting right now. Stop. I can't even look. I'm like a fucking schoolgirl, dude. Stop it. Making me blush, bro. Making me blush. Deep breaths. Somebody said in the live chat says deep breaths. Oh, all right. Let's get into today's breakdown because I'm losing my marbles. We'll go ahead and start playing.
You want to finish the ad read real quick?
No,
first.
I don't.
No,
I don't. I want to die. I want to crawl into a hole right now. I'm so embarrassed that Mandatory Fun Day is watching right now because I'm so discombobulated. And now I'm like ashamed of myself. And it's like I've dug a hole that I now can't get out of. So let's just fuck all of the mess. Play the tape and let me recover some way, shape, or form. Let me recover from all this. I feel like Mandatory Fun Day trying to do stand-up comedy for his first time. Now I know how he feels. Like where you get up there and now I know how he feels. Stand-up comedy, I can do that. Trying to podcast while Mandatory Fun Day is commenting and watching you, I melt away. I fall apart. So
you're just sitting in a room by yourself too. That's what's even crazier. There's no one there except this one comment right there. That comment.
So this breakdown is wild. And it goes back to what I've been saying for a while now, is that if you're not training, if you're a police officer in 2025, let me be like super clear. This isn't audacious. This isn't like crazy new news. You have to be training as a law enforcement officer in 2025. One, because policing in 2025 is not policing in 2015. There is no respect for you out on the streets. The protesters do not care about you. People do not care. And so they are pushing the envelope. Mental illness is kind of taken over. People are empowered to try to hurt you or try to defame you. And so the best way to deal with these scenarios is very quickly and without a whole bunch of drama and theatrics. And the only way that you are going to be able to accomplish that is if you train. I'm not trying to be some kind of, missionary for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or any of that. What I'm telling you that if you are not training judo, Jiu Jitsu, Muay Thai, some form of grappling martial art, and you are a police officer in 2025, you're missing the mark, guys. You are going to make your 30-year career that much easier. And listen, you would have talked to me 10 years ago. I would have said, if you're single, if you don't have kids, you don't have a lot of responsibilities, go train grappling in some way, shape, or form, in some art. But that was before policing got to where it is right now, where every single person wants to test you, mainly in part because of social media. We've seen all the videos, right? So they feel empowered. They're like, oh, wow, cops aren't really that strong. They're not superheroes. They're not as tough as we think that they are. I can now try them. I can test them. 10 years ago, before all these videos came out of cops getting their asses handed to them, and back when cops had a warrior mindset and they were actually taught warrior mindset training through Lieutenant Colonel Grossman and all those, which I thought was fabulous training. It was one of the best weeks of training I've had in my life. That's military and play, was that warrior mindset week that we got as law enforcement officers with the Lieutenant Colonel Grossman and everything. It was phenomenal mindset training. It really prepared me to go out onto the streets. They got rid of that. And they changed it to protector mindset. My opinions on protector mindset. I think it's a very flawed philosophy. It's turned into more of an ideology than like a philosophy. It's more of like a religious perspective on law enforcement, which is very scary as well. But now that all the videos in the last 10 years, since we've moved away from the warrior mindset, showing police officers, one, not having the warrior mindset, and two, losing the battle, has now empowered everyone to want to test you and want to try you. And so the one thing that you can do to make things quick and to make things drama-free is to have basic knowledge and understanding of some sort of grappling martial art. It also will help you deal with pressure, being under pressure, like when Mandatory Fun Day, when Austin von Leckman shows up into your live chats. It'll help you be able to reel it back in. Think about it, revert back to your training. Do what you've been taught to do. So I'm going to show you this video. And this cop, he's trying his best. He's not doing a terrible job, but just imagine if this cop would have had 8 weeks of consistent grappling training, how this would be a little bit different. Let's go ahead and play the videotape. For context, can you tell us what the nature of this call was, Josh?
Yep. So this is out of Orange County in Florida. They got reported of a suspicious person. Come to find out after the fact, this guy was there the previous day and he has already been trespassed from this business. So he's already trespassed from the business. He's already not supposed to be here. The deputy's there for a suspicious person call, comes to the back of the business, and this is what happens.
Yeah, so the cop gets out, super lackadaisical, not a problem. We deal with this, 25 times a day, not a big deal. Most of the time, the guy's not even going to be there. If he is there, he's tweaking. We're going to call an ambulance. The ambulance will come and pick him up. Bada bang, move on to the next call. This is a very easy call to take, especially if you're trying to squeeze in a lunch break, trying to squeeze in, go into the bathroom. Because here's how this works, right? You take this call, suspicious dude behind a vehicle. He's not going to be there. And then you're just going to stay out on the call so you can't get any other calls while you, quote unquote, drive around looking for him, AKA you're going to go get your Gatorade, your Lickies and Chewies, you're going to go take a poopy, whatever it is that you're going to do. So this is one of those calls that we can, what we call ride out in the biz. We can ride it out, E4 mafia it out. Just kind of, you get there and you're like, oh, no, he's not there. Or he is there and we have to wait for an ambulance, and then the medics, it's their problem. We can still stay out on the call and we can do all the things that I just mentioned. So in this guy's mindset right now, his mindset, and this is important, his mindset is exactly that. I can tell by the way he's walking. I can tell by the way he exited his door. Like, this is one of those, I got an ace. I got an ace in the hole. I'm playing poker and I'm starting the handoff with an ace and a high card. This is going to be an easy call. Lucky me. The gods are in my favor. It's going to be a good 12-hour shift.
Hey, boss. What are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? Oh, be careful.
And again, not a threat. He kicks a can. This dude pops out from behind the building, which is, kind of terrifying a little bit. But the cop doesn't even care. I think he was kind of like, oh, shit, he's here, right? Because oftentimes, more often than not, the dude's gone. So he's like, whoa, he's here. And then the guy is just walking towards him and he's on an opposite side of a fence and he's jumping the fence to come talk to the cop. So the cop's like, oh, sweet. You know what I mean? Not ideal, right? Not ideal if you want to go get Lickies and Chewies and take a poop. But now we have to deal with it. And he's also doesn't look like he's tweaking. So now the cops, I promise you, this is how the cop feels. Like, he's already been trespassed. He's already thinking, how do I not take this guy to jail? Because he's already in the mindset of, I was just about to ride this out for the next hour and have freedom for an hour. but now I have to deal with this, and he's been trespassed before. So now I'm going to try to, like, his brain is thinking, how do I get myself out of taking this guy to jail? I promise you that's how this guy's feeling right now.
All right, hold on.
So now this is what's interesting, and I have to break this down because 99% of our fellowship is listening. This is a podcast, but we do have people that watch YouTubes, like Abby Ellsworth there in the chats. Folk around and find out. Thank you guys for being in here. So the guy jumps the fence towards the police officer to come see the police officer, and then tries to take off running.
Grabs his
Very
book bag.
odd, because he could have ran from the other side of the fence, and the cop would have had to jump the fence and go chase him, which would have been way more beneficial, like way more, like that would have
Trying
been
to get away.
smarter. But I guess
Well, he
that's
has
why
a
we
book
don't-
bag. Yeah, he has a book bag there that he's also picked up and tried to run with too.
Yeah, why did he jump the fence to run? Like, why didn't he just run when he was on the other side of the fence?
Is there something in the
so-
book bag maybe that he wants to keep?
Yeah, but I'm
Foreshadowing?
saying if he would have ran when he was on the other side of the fence, there's no way that cop was getting over that fence to go chase him.
True,
Fat chance
but
that
what if
cop
there
would
was?
have even tried.
But what if there's something in that book bag that he really, really, really doesn't want the cop to
you're saying
have?
that the backpack was on the other side of the fence, so he was jumping the fence to get his backpack. Let me rewind it. I totally missed it. Let me go back. You're right. There's the backpack right there. Wow, that's interesting take. How did I not catch that? All right. Well, there we go.
Hey, boss. Hold on. County 5-1. What you doing, bro? What you...
They are in it. They are fighting.
21-12.
Oh,
All right. So the cop just did a awesome little takedown there from the knees, and a gun goes flying. So this guy has grabbed a backpack, jumped a fence, grabbed a backpack, gets in an active fight with the cop, and is digging in the backpack and retrieves a gun out of the backpack before the cop slams him to the ground, freeing the gun. So now we have a gun sitting in the middle of a parking lot, an empty parking lot behind a business. So there's nobody coming to save you. And now you are still in the fight of your life with this suspect.
oh, wait. Gun number 2?
Now the guy has thrown a second firearm out onto the pavement. Now we have, is that 3 guns or 2 guns?
It's 2. The 2 to the left. There. I don't know if that's his slipper or something else that was in the parking lot there. I know. I see what you're looking at there.
Right.
Now the cop's gun is still in its holster. Goes for gun number 1. Goes for gun number 2. All right.
Whoa. Hold on. Like, yo,
A lot happened.
Serious? Are you serious right now? All right, let's play from the body camera footage, and then we're gonna break this whole thing down because it is absolutely wild. Holy fuck! From Folk Around and Find Out, you're right. Holy fuck is right. Is backup coming? Eventually.
Hey, boss. What are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? Yep. Be careful.
He even helps him over the fence.
Hold on.
The cop even tries to help the guy over the fence. The guy grabs the backpack and just takes off running.
County 5-1. What you doing, bro?
Dude, so the cop goes, fight is on. Woo! What you got, boss? And then he giggles.
On the ground fighting with him.
21-12.
I promise I will break all this down for you. Yeah, he said fucking as soon as he took that one across the teeth.
He is eating them, but he stays in the fight the entire time.
All right, let's break it all down. Let's break this down. This is a good one for us to break down because literally, even in my book, Pig Latin, I explain this whole entire scenario from start to finish in my own experience. You can go and remove that from the stage there and make me big if you can. It wasn't doing it on my end. Let me just start by saying this to clear up the air here about the shooting one-handed. That cop just took like 4 knockout punches. Do you watch the UFC? Have you ever watched the UFC? Have you ever watched boxing? Dudes take less and get knocked out faster. This is a difference between being in a ring when you have a referee. I think your body allows you to get knocked out when you know you're safe, when there's a safety net. Let me make that make sense. If you're in the arena, if you're in the ring and you are in a mixed martial art scenario, be it jiu-jitsu tournament, judo tournament, Muay Thai tournament, MMA, Taekwondo, if you want to go there, right? You know that you're only one lick away from it being over because it's very exhausting and your body doesn't really want to be there once it starts. I just went, I just did a jiu-jitsu tournament a few weeks ago. I placed second place and it sucked because I won my first match. Literally 6 minutes later, I went the whole 7 minutes. 6 minutes later, I had a whole nother match. Did get the tap, went the whole 7 minutes, and then went to the finals 20 minutes later. I went the whole 7 minutes. So I went 21 minutes.
That's an eternity.
Which is an eternity, right? But deep down, my body knows that I'm only one tap away from this all being over. And so if I'm put in a really bad situation, I'm probably much more likely to tap because it's over. Once I tap, it's over. And so if you're in a boxing ring and you get stuck on the chin and you go lights out, your body's like, it's over. They're not going to let you continue anyway. When you're fighting on the streets, and I know this firsthand, it's different. You can take blows on the street that you could not take in the ring. I train Muay Thai every week. And the fight that I got in as a police officer where I was knocked out like this cop and was able to just keep going was because your body knows that there's no way out. You either win or you're going to die. And so your body actually does just keep going. So this cop, for all intents and purposes, he is knocked out. I guarantee you, like if you were to take if you were to have brain scans like active on his brain, like if you had like probes and shit into his brain, they did all the science stuff. They probably would say his brain matches up with anybody who's been knocked out.
His cognitive processing is there. He's relying on muscle memory at that point. He is
really
not
is.
he's not making decisions. His brain is making decisions for him. He can't keep up with things.
Yes.
So he's back into that fight. He in the fight or flight but literally in fight or flight.
Yeah, I mean, when he took that one shot where he says fuck, where I said fuck before he said fuck, only reason I said fuck like that is because when I train with 14-ounce gloves, Muay Thai, and even in sparring, just like, which nobody's trying to knock anybody's heads off in sparring, when you take a shot, a clean shot where your hands down, or maybe you went in for an uppercut and he caught you with that quick jab, you see this bright flash of white. It happens every time, almost like a static television right after that. So it's like a bang, and then it's like a fuzzy for a millisecond. It's like a fuzzy television. And in your brain, you literally go, fuck, because you know, oops, I probably should have brought my hands back up to my face so I didn't eat that one. And then you get back into the fight, right? Like after you say fuck. This dude's swinging with everything that he has in him, and he doesn't have 14-ounce gloves on. So that hit to his face, that one right there, that one right across the eye, one probably cut his eye. So he's probably going to be bleeding there, or it's going to feel really, really, really hot on his face. So he knows that it's there. And then also that one was probably a lights out moment for him. Matter of fact, that time for him to say fuck, he was probably genuinely out right there, but his body was like, no, bitch, like this isn't over. You're going to die. And it's amazing how the body works, how the brain, that's how tunnel vision works. Tunnel vision is a great thing, but it's also a very bad thing, because tunnel vision puts all of your energy and all your focus onto the one thing that's going to kill you. So this cop's not going to see anything to his left or to his right, but his heart, everything that's going on in this cop's body right now is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's surviving this fight. And so whereas adrenaline can kill you, in this case, adrenaline keeps this cop awake and alive. The cop didn't allow himself to shut off. That's great. That's mental preparedness. The grips that this police officer had at the very beginning on the guy shows that this officer doesn't mind a fight. He doesn't mind being in the arena. He's a gladiator. He even is excited. Woo! Let's see what you got, brother. And that's great. And this is what I love about people who don't train. It's this, I'll see red and I'll win the fight. That's not always true. You're not seeing red is 50-50, because he's seeing red too. So you have, not seeing red and having one guy that's even remotely trained. If this officer had 9 weeks of grappling or boxing or Muay Thai, this would have been a whole different ballgame. This cop got lucky because he's a brute. He's a country boy. He's a Florida boy. He's got that country boy attitude, and that kept him alive. Barely. This is why I say it is so important that in 2025, you guys better start training, because we cannot shoot our way out of these things anymore. And this cop does. But what if this dude had training? What if the dude that he was fighting had a little bit more cardio? What if he was a little bigger? What if, and of course we can what if all day, but what if he knew he wanted to kill that cop? He went and fumble fucked that gun. He would have picked that gun up and he would shot that cop dead. That guy was going through fight or flight, and he didn't know he was stuck in the fight or flight continuum, because at first he's just trying to get away. He's trying to run. It's obvious that flight is there, but it turns into fight. Then it turns back into flight. Then he gets the gun, and then he's like, ooh, I have a gun in my fight or flight. And that's where he goes wrong. So this cop got so freaking lucky. So freaking lucky. And I want to break down just a couple of things in this video that I want you as a cop to go and seek out and try to learn. Try to learn these maneuvers. If you're not going to go to a jiu-jitsu gym, if you're not going to go to a judo gym, if you're not going to go to a boxing or a Muay Thai gym, then go to YouTube. And I want you to Google these 3 things that I'm going to show you here that would have saved this officer's, it would have saved this officer from one having to shoot the guy, which I don't really care that he had to shoot the guy. A guy like that shouldn't be not shot, in my opinion. Like, better this guy gets shot now than another cop getting shot by this guy later on down the road. But the officer, he really gambled with his life here. He was gambling with a 7 deuce. Now I'll give him a jack 6. Can you win with a jack 6? Sure. But it's a gamble. And this cop won. He won with a jack 6. Lucky you. But 3 things that this officer could have done or could have known that you can know that will save you, that'll ace you up, or at least king and queen you up. Before I do that, today's show is brought to you by factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off. Summer is here. More sun, more lights. And guess what, guys? The glizzy season is upon us. It's time to start sewing those glizzies down your throat. July 4th, Joey Chestnut, the champ, going to deliver a wienerin'. He's back. More time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer is going to the grocery store, meal planning, meal prepping, spending your Sunday right before you go back to work on Monday, having to cook, find the Pyrex, Pytex, dishes, separating your food. All that stuff sucks. You could be spending more time with your kids, more time at the pool, more time just being you and relaxing. If you're mandatory fun day, it could be more time making content. I don't know. Spending hours cooking inside is one thing you don't want to be doing. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef prepared, fresh and never frozen meals, crafted, dietitian approved, are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrives fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over the summer and beyond. 45 weekly menu options. You can pick your gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Calorie smart, protein plus. You can even do keto friendly if you want to. Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown, with nutritious breakfast, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. We love Factor meals. You know we love Factor meals. I get in really great shape. I'm doing good right now, down to 198, so that on July 4th, I can sit by the pool and I can eat as many hot dogs shamelessly as I want while getting pumped up and motivated to watch Joey Chestnut squash those Chinese and Japanese and other foreign contestants in hot dog eating contests. Really show them that America is number one. Get started today at factormeals.com/Wolfpack50 off and use the code Wolfpack50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's promo code Wolfpack50 off at factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF. All right. Let me got to work on that gag reflex. I do have a terrible gag reflex. Let's play this video. I'm going to fast forward to just a spot here. It's also odd to me that the cop came out with his gun out and then he holstered. Not a problem there, but he definitely, his spider senses were tingling. You should always listen to your spider senses. Don't let your guard down. Just because somebody's jumping a fence doesn't mean that you are, but obviously doesn't mean that you're safe. So right here, we see that he's got a good grip on this guy's shoulder. This is where judo would have came in to contact, because he snatched the guy down right there, or some simple wrestling, some high school wrestling, put that guy, snatch him down all the way to the ground. He could have sprawled out on him. So I want you to YouTube 3 basic takedowns. I did just Google 3 basic judo takedowns. And I want you to watch those videos every day for a week. They shouldn't be long. They should take up 5 minutes of your day. At least the bare minimum is watch them, maybe grab one of your partners and just get your grips and figure it out. Because having 3 takedowns, just 3. This isn't jiu-jitsu. This isn't jiu-jitsu sport where they're going to have a takedown to your takedown. So you have to have a takedown to their takedown to their takedown. You know, this is street fights, and you're probably not. So if you have 3 takedowns, there's no way this guy is going to defend against any one of those takedowns. So I want you to Google that. That's number 1. Here comes number 2. Once he gets this guy on the ground, he goes to what's called like this neon belly. All right. And I want you to go to BJJ Cops. I want you to wherever you want to go, but I want you to look up. I want you to look up the mount position and getting into a mounted position, and then what to do once you're there. So many cops get to the mounted position. This guy gets into side control. He steps over into a mount, but it's a very sloppy mount position. I've actually posted a story on our Instagram of a jiu-jitsu cop breaking down, the problems with getting into the mount position. Right now, this cop has a very dominant position. It's called side control. And so if we're not going to, if you don't want to go straight to mount, which I'm a fan of not going to mount. I think staying right here in this side control position, sometimes, guys, maintaining a proper position is far better than a submission. What this cop is going to do is go for a submission. Basically, he's going to go to try to get this guy to cop. He could lay in this position without any training. This cop could lay right here,
Forever.
shift his weight back slightly, and he could ride this out until the cavalry comes.
Yep.
Position over submission. This guy would be fucking, there's nowhere this guy can go. And if this cop had any kind of training, 9 weeks worth of training, that's it. 9 weeks of your life, he would have known, hey, I'm good right here. I've made it. I am 75% of the way through this whole fight. Maybe 80%. I'm in side control. I've passed this guy's guard. This guy can't punch me. He can't kick me. He probably can bite me, but I can probably fix that real quick. I can gouge his eyes. Everything that this cop can do, he can do right here. He's 85% of the way through this fight right here, but he gives it up. He gives it up for a better position mount, but he doesn't go to mount. He steps right back over into side control, which while he's trying to move into mount, this guy throws a firearm, and thank God he didn't rotate that firearm and shoot the cop in the face. So now again, he's back in this side mount position, the side control position. All the cop has to do is lay right here. Stop moving. Stop moving. Now, the man gets to his feet, and the cop stays down on his knees. I promise you, I don't care how tired you are. Getting off of your knees and getting to your feet, you will be less tired once you get to your feet. I promise you. If you're in this, if you're a woman, if you're a kid, if you're whoever, and you're in a position where you're getting beaten, I know that you're tired, and I know that the hardest thing to do right here, right now, is to get to your feet, but you have to mentally tell yourself right now, in this situation, get to my feet. Never being on your knees while somebody else is on their feet is never the right answer. 9 weeks of training or less, he would have known this is the worst position in the world for me to be in. And all this cop had to do was stand up. I promise you that if this cop would have stood up right now, that man would probably have ran. Or that cop wouldn't have eaten 60% of the punches that he's about to eat right here. That cop just ate, how many punches was that?
The video says at least 10. I count like 4 or 5 good ones to the side temple.
Right here. Watch this. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 6. He just ate 6. 4 hard ones. 4 like unadulterated, wide open spacers. He took 4 knockout punches. If this would have been a UFC fight and he would have taken those 4 right then, good chance that a ref would have, well, maybe I should say that. They probably wouldn't have called it. But
He's not defending himself.
He's not defending himself at all.
So the ref would come in.
There probably is a chance that a cop would, and your brain knows that. Your brain knows that. This cop doesn't get it. So then the cop says, I can't eat these anymore. And he goes to try to stand up, but the cop has no legs. Guys, when you get jacked in the face, the first thing, wildly enough, the first thing that you lose are your legs. Isn't that weird? That when you take a shot on the chin, your knees and your ankles just like don't exist?
It's that minimum shock to your nervous system. Everything shuts down for half a second, and then it takes everything else. It's like your brain's like a computer. It takes a second for it to get restarted. So as soon as you get that clock, it turns everything off. You start to fall. By the time you start to realize you're falling, you're already on the ground.
And now your brain's got to go with, I'm getting my fucking ass kicked. And now you have to work through that. And that is a huge mental battle. Again, in my book, I'm in this guy's same scenario. I get jacked in the face. The guy stands on top of me just like this and beats the fucking brakes off of me. And I go through all the things, dude, all the emotions, luckily for me, I had combatives training, not nearly as much as I have now, or not nearly as much as I should, but I had a general idea of single leg takedown, which is what I did. I used the single leg takedown, which this cop has the single leg right here. He could have used right here. This cop right here, he lays out prone and lets this guy take shots. All this cop had to do, drive his head forward, use his arm to catch the leg, and he would have been in a single leg and he could have stood right back up. Very simple. Again, 9 weeks of training. 9 weeks of training could have worked you right through this. But instead he prones out, and this guy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more shots to the dome that this cop takes, and those were knockout shots. Watch this. He's out. This cop is out. This cop is sitting there going, one, I can't feel my jaw because that's a terrible feeling. I remember on my night when I got my ass really whooped, again, I was able to get to a single leg because I knew in my brain what I had to do. And that's when you train in grappling, you learn to not panic. You learn to know that I have to move on to the next thing. I've been mounted. That's okay. I don't even stop now. Once I get like a year and a half ago, somebody would have mounted me. I'm like, oh, take me. I'm yours. Take me, Satan. Now, if you mount me, it's like I don't even care. Like, oh, he's mounted me. I'm going to scoot my arm up under his knee. I'm going to trap his ankle over my ankle. I'm going to trap an arm. I'm going to hip and roll. I'm literally going to slide my leg up under his knee, get to half guard, shrimp out backwards, post an arm, begin, looking for that single leg or something. Like it's all mechanics now. This officer doesn't have any mechanics to rely on, and he's been knocked the fuck out. So he's laying there, and I guarantee you what he's doing, because I was there in the same position, is going, get up. Get up. You're telling yourself to get up, but nothing is moving. It's a very weird place to be in. And that's kind of what being knocked out is like. You're knocked out. It feels like 30 seconds. It feels like 45 seconds. In reality, it's like 2 seconds. But I remember laying there on the ground and going, get up. Get up. Get the fuck up. And then I got to my knees. When I briefed that, I talk about it a lot in my book, I briefed that as if I was out for like 45 seconds. And when you watch the tape, it was like a second and a half.
Feels like forever.
But do you see where he's laying here? That's what he's doing. Bam. He's out. He's on his back. He's out. And he's going, get up, dude. Get up. He gets up. Do you see how he got up? Do you see the burpee there? That's the hardest burpee that motherfucker's ever done in his whole life. For those of you who hate burpees, good. You should always do them. You should finish out every single exercise that you ever do, whether you go jogging, whether you should finish out every single fucking workout with 10 burpees. You should, because that is the movement you're going to do when it doesn't matter if you're a soldier, firefighter, cop. The last maneuver, the last movement you will do in any firefight, in any fight, in any rescue operation, the last movement you will do is a burpee. Let me give you an example. Kid snapped his ankle, bone out, about a month ago. I was in Virginia Beach. Friend of my children's, bone out, snap. He's 19 years old. Everybody freaked. A little bit of blood splatter, hissing out of the leg because it broke the skin. Very traumatic. And he looked at me, and I ran out of the bleachers and onto the course in front of 1,000 people. And we all got to work. Medics showed up, and we started to work, right? Now we got to get him off of this arena, this stage. So what do? Burpee, stand up. Then we got to get him down onto the beach sand, pushing down into the dirt, lowering him down. Then you have to get down there and get your knuckles up underneath the gurney. Stand up. That's another burpee. Then we walked all the way through the sand, up the beach, up the dunes, up the boardwalk, onto the sidewalk. Then we lowered him to get up the stair. Like once we got to the top of the stairs, we lowered him. Got him some meds really quick because they were able to they were in a position where the guy that had the meds, they got him. We had to stand back up. That's another burpee all the way to the sidewalk. And we're talking probably a good 400 meters. Put him back down. Ambulance pulls around. Burpee right back up to get him on. Now, this isn't war. This isn't combat. But I did, 5 or 6 of the hardest burpees ever because this guy weighs a lot and I was on the head, right? If you're in a firefight and a gun battle and I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. How are you getting back up? You're essentially doing a burpee. If you are a cop and you're running to cover, you're running and gunning. Every time you squat and you get down behind a tire and you stand back up, you're doing the movement of a burpee. So I know we say fuck burpees and it's fun, but honestly, if you're a cop, you want to be comfortable with doing a burpee. Now, this cop does the world's fastest burpee for being that tired. Watch this burpee. He's knocked out. He's telling himself, get up, get up, get up. Burpee. Gun. Bang, bang, bang. But you see how wobbly his legs are? This cop's not a sloppy shooter. This cop's not a shitty shooter. This cop is knocked the fuck brain dead. This dude's spaghetti brain noodles. This guy
trying
is
to catch up.
walking jello. Yeah, because he's been knocked the absolute fuck right out. But he's still in the fight mentally. And that's what saves this cop, is he has that mindset, that hood, that very, I like to call it Florida mindset. Florida's a tough place, right? Like everything wants to kill you. Water moccasins want to kill you. Tornadoes, coral snakes, one of the deadliest snakes in North America. Great whites, bull sharks, the most aggressive sharks, tiger sharks, alligators, crocodiles, Casey Anthony. Everything in Florida wants to fucking kill you. So Floridians are just tough. They're a tougher breed. They're like Australians. And so this guy's got that Florida breed, Southern tough man. This is the shit that you don't find in New York. You don't find it in New Jersey. They might have like street wits and shit up there, but in Florida, you've got fucking Florida man tough. And this cop is Florida man tough. He's Orlando tough. And that wins the fight for him. But if this cop would have known three things: 1, simple takedown; 2, side control; and the third thing is a submission. That's it. Basic submission from side control. Takedown, side control, and a basic submission from side control. And this cop would not have had to gamble. He would have gone into this poker game with an ace and a queen instead of a jack and a 6. And so you can make fun of me for mentioning Brazilian Jiu Jitsu all you want, or judo, or anything like that. It is your duty. It is your duty. You owe it to your family, you owe it to your partners, and you owe it to the community to know those 3 basic things. I'm not telling you to go train 4 days a week. I'm not trying to train you 3 days a week. I'm saying 1 day a week for 9 weeks. Can you commit yourself? You will commit yourself to learning lie detection. You'll go spend 40 hours on a 5-day course on interdiction. Is interdiction going to save your life? Is knowing how to tell when somebody's lying or not, is that going to save your life? Or is it going to get you promoted? Oh, Eric and Josh are up for promotion, but Josh has an interdiction class. Let's promote Josh. No, not likely. Not likely. But you won't spend 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week training with something that will genuinely save your life. In 30 years, if you plan on doing 30 years as a cop, you will be in this scenario at least once. You owe it to the community. Once you know basic grappling skills, grandma, sister, uncle, cousin, none of those people will be able to get away from you. They won't be able to cause a ruckus. They won't make you look like a fool. If you're out there on the protest, your protest lines, and you have to do a quick takedown and get somebody into cuffs, the longer you're there and you allow the swarm of people to overtake you, with some basic 9 weeks of grappling, none of that will happen to you. You owe it. You owe it to your community. You owe it to your friends and family so that you can come home alive. Load up with some aces. What you got, Josh?
Well, think about, like, he started this like right from the get-go. He was in the fight. He's, whoa, let's go. Right. And then halfway through it, it was, oh shit, this guy actually has to be able to fight too. Like, he went into the fight with the fight mentality, and it's still like, if he didn't go into that without that mentality, I don't know that we'd be talking about the win.
That cop wanted to live.
Yep.
That cop wanted to live. Thank God.
Because think about it. This was a Saturday morning before 8 o'clock in the morning. A suspicious person. How many times you go to that same call?
20 times a day.
Exactly. And it's going to be a homeless person, or it's going to be some vagrant. It's going to be some tweaker or something. You're just going to go move them along. It's not going to be some dude that's going to climb a fence and get into a fist fight with you and then pull not one, but 2 different guns, and not go for not one, but 2 different guns. He went for the guns twice. He threw them away, and then he tried to throw them away a second time. This suspect here had, in his mind, he knew what he needed to do.
Yep.
He had a mission: get away, get those guns away, get away.
Yeah.
So he survives. Both of these guys survive. surprisingly. And he has been charged. I'm going to scroll down here. The department is saying there's a pending a completion of an internal review. And so some people are going to say, oh, this guy wasn't armed. How do you know that he wasn't armed?
He just no, once you get punched in the face that hard 10 times, that's deadly force. That's deadly force.
Well, and if you go from
any one of those punches could have killed that cop. If his head would have snapped back and hit the concrete.
Well, and then
seizures. I mean, that's deadly force. If you hit somebody in the face that many fucking times, even when they're on the ground, you're trying to kill them.
Because when he gets up, from our perspective, from that security, from looking from the security camera perspective, we have that perspective. But when you look at it from the body camera's perspective, body camera gives you a little bit more perspective of what the officer was seeing.
Oh, that one that one shot he took to the chin on body camera footage. Man, that was, and you could hear it. Like, his jaw is gonna hurt. He'll be eating mashed potatoes for 2 fucking weeks.
When we went to the
bro,
like,
that is the
like
worst.
bare knuckles onto like skin. Oh, when we were at that fight, like you can hear that.
Well, those fights, the bare knuckle fights that I took you to with Ken Shamrock, those fights didn't even last this long.
No.
Remember the main event? That dude took like maybe 2 shots to the face before he was down. And that's the cool thing about bare knuckle fights, is that like there was only one fight that went outside of round 1. Only one.
Yeah.
Every other fight
was
done
of them
in the first round. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, these are all the punches that this cop took were lights out. Like that was a Rudy moment for this cop. That was I want to live. I don't want to die here. I'm not going to lose. That's that Florida strong, that Southern boy, that Southern country, Orlando boy, hell yeah, brother. I'm from Florida, bruh. You know what I mean? Like, that's that Florida boy mentality that cop has. That's what kept him alive. And my goal here, I was talking to Tyler Gray the other day, and I told Tyler, I said, hey, if everything that we're working on goes to fruition, the first thing I'm going to do is set up a law enforcement jiu-jitsu scholarship fund. That's where I raise money to get cops jiu-jitsu, judo, and that's kind of how I'm going to do it. Like, let the cop pick what he wants, but it has to be a grappling martial art. It has to be either Muay Thai. It has to be. It can't just be boxing, because we can't rely on our fists. Like, as a cop, you have to rely. As a paramedic, as a firefighter, you have to rely on submissions and grappling skills, because we can't. Punching somebody, you're going to get fired. You're going to get sued. Like, we've got to have the least amount of punches possible. So I'll even go with Muay Thai, because Muay Thai has takedowns and trips. But I would say that, and I think that most generally, that if you're going to train Muay Thai, you're probably more likely to do judo or jiu-jitsu. I'll probably take Muay Thai out of it. But you could train in a grappling martial art. But I do think striking is important. So maybe we'd leave Muay Thai in. I don't know. But this cop I would give him a free one. He's got the attitude. He's got the spark for it. 3 things, guys. I want you to look up 3 basic takedowns on YouTube. If you're a cop and you're not going to try to do jiu-jitsu, I want you to look up 3 judo takedowns. Basic. Type in 3 basic beginner judo takedowns. I want you to memorize them. I want you to memorize side control. Learn. All you have to do is watch the YouTube videos, how to get side control and how to stay in side control and what it's for. And then I want you to try to get with a friend and just work on keeping that person in side control. It's a very good place to be in, especially if you can keep it and you can be flexible in it, and then get you a submission from side control so that you can get somebody in the handcuffs. That's the bare minimum, folks. Fulcron says, hey, our Bosco says, I'm seriously thinking about joining a volunteer fire rescue. Great. I highly suggest that you do it. If that's where your heart is called to do so. But just know that there are responsibilities, and that, you owe it to your friends and family to be physically fit, mentally able, and capable of doing those jobs. So, but if you're called to do those, and you're physically fit enough to do it, and you're mentally capable enough to do it, then by all means, please do it. Yeah.
We got going on this weekend.
Bosco's done it before, but I'm not talking to you, Bosco. I'm basically talking to anybody that's thinking about joining anything.
Well, because people aren't calling 911. Because when you call 911, you, for all intents and purposes, you want a hero. You want the best of the best to come fix whatever you call 911 for. You don't want Dave on his Tuesday that just doesn't feel like really want to be there and is thinking about going home, and it's got all the. You want Dave that's ready to just kick the door in and ready to just take names. Like that's what you have. Be the best.
Be the best.
You got anything going on this weekend?
I do. Well, my kids have a skate contest with a police department. A police department ran skate contest in Belmont.
That's fun.
Belmont, North Carolina, about 3.5 hours away from here. So we'll be staying in Charlotte for the night this weekend. If you are in the Belmont, North Carolina area, and you want to come and hang out with some cops all day long, I think the shenanigans start at noon, and they go till 10 p.m. So it's going to be a long day. But it is a cool contest, and kids were invited to be there. So we're going to show up and have fun. And it's cool that it's led by cops. So that's really cool. It's Go Skate Day. So that's tomorrow. And then I have the guys from Beth and Greg from Bar is Open with Beth and Greg podcast. They will be in town Monday. So we will be doing some content with them. And then I'm working hard on the audiobook right now. And then, of course, I have this other super secret, awesome surprise coming down the pipeline that we're working on right now. And as soon as I have the information that I'm allowed to tell you guys about that, I will say right now, though, in the meantime, go follow Tyler Gray and buy his book, Forged in Chaos. Tyler Gray plays one of the SEALs on the TV series SEAL Team and is a retired Delta Force operator who lost half of his arm, basically, and had to find his way outside of combat, and where he went from all he knew was war to being a single man with no war. And that was the only thing he was good at. He had to find himself in a very chaotic world. And so that book, bring it up for us, is called Forged in Chaos. Let's see, bring it up here for you. There it is, right there. Forged in Chaos. It's a great book. Tyler has become a pretty close friend of mine in the last few months. And so support him, and which in turn will support my project. So send him a DM. Tell him TANSEY sent you. Tell him TANSEY says hello. But make sure you go and give Tyler Gray a follow. Tyler Gray. And then also Beth and Greg from the Bar is Open with Beth and Greg. Will the Beth and Greg come out on YouTube? Are you? Yeah, dude, for sure. For sure, Beth and Greg and I will be doing some YouTubing. For sure.
Probably up for Fox on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll probably do something special on Tuesday too. So, all right, guys. Well, we had a great time. Bonsai Runner says Corn Pop was a bad dude. Find me a mechanic job, Tansy. I'm dude. If there's anything I'm terrible at, it's mechanic shit.
We can hire.
I get Greg a booster seat. It's funny you say that, Steve Beereth. He wants to do some jiu-jitsu with me while he's here, and so I said, well, hey, I wear an A3 gi. You can just use my gi. That way you don't have to travel with one. And he was like, bro, that would be huge on me. And I'm like, oh my God. And I've met him in person before. Anyway, I just forgot. Wazman says, Eric, how's the English accent practice going? Not so good, Choppy.
Sounds more Australian every day.
I sound like Mel Gibson and fucking Braveheart now.
Freedom.
It is crazy.
That's a good movie.
Though. Mel Gibson's a great actor.
That's a good movie. I'm gonna watch that this weekend.
Well, Grant says One More and I'm Out of Here. Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. I need to watch it again too. One More and I'm Out of Here is live at 4 p.m. today. Tune into them. We watched Con Air last night, so that was a good one.
That's a good one.
Good people. Meet them on the DB cruise. Oh, cool. Yeah, they are super fun. I met them a few times in Austin. They're really cool people. Really enjoy them. So they're gonna come and hang out here in North Carolina with me for, I don't know, maybe a week or so. And we're gonna get into all sorts of shenanigans. So follow us on the Instagrammies, and you'll see all the shenanigans. And of course, I'm sure we'll do a YouTube episode with them, and we'll have a lot of fun. So. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good weekend, Dead Leg, and follow us on FAWKES News. We had an amazing episode. If you want to know my take on Iran briefly, really quickly, that was
one of the best episodes. I'll sing your praises for you. It was one of the better episodes. I wouldn't say you set it up to lay it down, but you have if the whole thing flows. So on the back side of a production side of it, there's just so we're not going from point to point, but then every point has a point. It's we go back 8 years ago and say this is exactly what we were saying. If we do this, this bad stuff will happen. And lo and behold, we did that, and the bad stuff happened. And now we're going, hey, why is the hot stove hot?
Yeah.
It's one of the best episodes
know,
you've
like
ever
a
done.
really good bipartisan, not taking money from anybody, so I don't have to say anything, take on Iran, Israel, and its history and kind of the conflict and why we're in this conflict right now at this date and time. This is all very spelled out, and it was on our last episode of FAWKES News, Fox News, right here on YouTube or on audio platform. So head over to FAWKES News, and there you go. Download, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Give me a 5-star rating and review. I'm begging you for a 5-star rating and review on Spotify or iTunes. I'm begging you for a 5-star review on there. That show is getting really, really, really good. And I think we're really, really good at that show. And that was one of our better episodes. So go and check that out, especially before we get into Iran. Then after you get done listening to that, go listen to the Tucker Carlson. Once you listen to my episode, then go and listen to the Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz episode, where Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz went back and forth with each other, and you will see how stupid Ted Cruz really is.
It's incredible.
Scary. How stupid.
It's absolutely incredible.
How bad that is. Yeah, terrifying. Terrifying that's the headspace. I am so thankful for Tucker Carlson and for exposing that. But it's crazy. A C- student like me. So please go listen to FAWKES News first, give it a 5-star review, and then go listen to that, and you will be like, what the actual fuck, Ted Cruz? What the actual fuck? Johnny says, guns up, giddy up. Thanks, Johnny. Yes, Johnny. Love his sombrero. Oh, happy Juneteenth. For speaking of sombreros, unfortunately, we can't really celebrate Juneteenth. There's no outline. Sombreros on Cinco de Mayo and chips, salsa, burritos, Coronas. St. Patrick's Day. You've got Jameson, Guinness, bangers and mash. You know, 4th of July, you got glizzies. You know, all these holidays have a very clear-cut way that you're supposed to celebrate them. Juneteenth doesn't. And if you try, you're racist. So give me a way to celebrate Juneteenth, and I will fucking do it. But let me know, what am I culturally allowed to eat and do and celebrate with? Yeah, exactly. The watermelon cake. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, that was a whole fiasco. I think that was a Costco ordeal or whatever. Wegmans also on the line for not having enough fucking June 19th. I will say that my take on Wegmans is, like, you go into Wegmans and I've seen like 5 black people in Wegmans. So I'm not sure like where the ROI is on that. And maybe they made the 5 fucking Juneteenth cakes for their 5, you know what I mean?
And they sold
I'm
out.
just saying, like, I mean, I don't really see a lot of black people in Wegmans all that often. You know, I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I went on Cinco de Mayo. They didn't have like fucking taco cakes at Food Lion. So, you know, I don't know. You know, and here's the thing too, like, what's wrong with fried chicken and watermelon? Why is that offensive? If that's, you know, honestly,
it's delicious.
The black culture is shrimp and grits. Like, that's for, you know, if you really want to get down to the nuts and bolts, one of the biggest cuisines of black culture is shrimp and grits. So, you know, I would love for any of my black friends to take leadership in that holiday and let us know what we all should do so that we can fucking rage, just like we do on Cinco de Mayo, just like we do on St. Patrick's Day, just like we do on July 4th. I'm ready to rage for June 19th. I just need to know how to do it where I'm not going to be accused, because Costco came out with the watermelon cakes and did some watermelons and shit. Racist. One of the schools, one of the colleges did a whole free fried chicken watermelon thing giveaway up in New York. They were canceled for doing that. So if we can't celebrate black culture because everything is racist, then tell me what the fuck I'm allowed to eat that's not culturally inappropriate. Me personally, I love fried chicken. I fucking love watermelon. It's my favorite food on earth. Ask my kids, ask my family. I would eat a whole watermelon every day if I was allowed to. And I love shrimp and grits. So you just tell me which one culturally I'm allowed to do. Tell me which music I can listen to and rage to that doesn't offend you. And then let me know what I can drink. If it's not going to be Coronas or whatever, let me know, and I will fucking go balls out. I will go fucking balls out for Juneteenth. So I hope everybody had a good Juneteenth. And I'm sorry, you know, 'cause some people have asked, like, hey, Eric, what are you doing to celebrate? I don't know. because the last thing I want to do is offend anybody. And it's a new holiday, and you guys haven't figured it out yet. It's like 4 years old, 5 years old now, and like we still don't have like a fucking. What are the colors? Are we doing Jamaican? Are we doing like African themed? Are we doing like what are we doing, folks? Give me some. That's your homework. If you're a black person, not a person of color, you have to be black because it's Juneteenth. Tell me, what are my decorations? What am I eating? And what am I drinking? And what am I jamming to? What's my party like? And I will do it. Next Juneteenth, I will throw a Juneteenth party, but you have to tell me respectfully what it is that I need to do to celebrate and that you're not going to cancel me for. Fair? Is that fair, everybody?
Party planning committee. You are the party planning committee from you're Angela from The Office.
I'm here for you, dude. I'm here for you. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Love all of you. Love everyone. Thanks for following. Guns up, giddy up, stay in the fight. Until next time, cheers.
See ya.